Afternoon. This is Suresh Aitapu. First of all, I would like to thank Vish and Sisako for giving me this opportunity to interact with you and discuss on nutritional and health benefits of soy flour. Soy is been part of Asian food system for centuries, and it has been grown all around the world for the last 1 century. And it's a very versatile crop which can be grown in a number of places. And one uniqueness about soy is it's a good source of protein as well as fat. Soy has around 40% protein and about 20% fat. And also it's a good source of other key nutrients like vitamin, minerals, and fiber. These are some of the key nutritional aspects of soy. And the quality of protein for soy is actually, it's something extraordinary. It is at par with milk and egg, even though it being a vegetarian source, soy protein quality is at par with milk and egg. And the goodness of soy is also, it can be processed into number of various products. One such product of today's interest is soy flour, which can be used in various food products, including bakery and also various processed foods. And if you look at the nutritional benefit of soy protein, especially as far as soy flour is concerned, it's a good source of protein. As I mentioned earlier, soy flour has about, defatted soy flour has about 52% protein, and fat is about around 1%. The product is processed after taking out of oil from the beans using solvent extraction process. So the oil content is little less in this, and it's a very good source of fiber as well. And another important aspect is the minerals. Like if you see in the table here, soy has a very good ash content. Ash is nothing but the minerals present in soy flour. And the mineral content in soy flour is also very good. If you look at the key minerals like calcium, iron, sodium is very low. That is one of the most important aspects. Nowadays, people are looking at low sodium foods. Soy is a very low in sodium and good in rich in some other key nutrients, key vitamins or key minerals like calcium, iron, zinc, copper, selenium. And also it's a good source of vitamins, especially B complex vitamins. Even though soy is a good source of fat-soluble vitamins and A, E, and K, but as we are taking out the fat and making defatted soy flour, this vitamin content is relatively low in the defatted soy flour, but it's a good source of folic acid. And if you look at the amino acid profile, soy is a very good source of amino acids, especially essential amino acids, being a vegetarian source. And also it's a very good source of glycine. Glycine is a very critical in today's pandemic situation, because glycine plays a very important role in managing the immunity. And soy is one. Soy flour is a good source of glycine. In fact, if you look at the scientific name of soy is glycine max, that means it has a maximum amount of glycine. So this is one amino acid which is key in this. And if you look at the protein quality of soy, as per the new method of evaluation of protein quality by FAO and WHO, it's no longer new. Of course, it's about almost 30 years back. And the new method is the protein digestibility corrected amino acid score. This takes the amino acid content of a particular food and its relevance to human being. You see the graph here. The blue one is the amount of essential amino acids required by 2 to 5-year-old children. And the pink one or magenta, what you call it as, is like what is present in the soy protein. So soy protein will provide all the essential amino acids even for 2 to 5-year-old children. And also they look at the digestibility of the protein based on the PDCAAS value is evaluated. Soy, the PDCAAS value of soy is at par with milk and egg, the milk protein, that is casein and whey and egg white. In fact, it is superior to beef. And if you look at the other plant sources like peanut meal or rice, they are very, very low as far as the protein quality is concerned. And in today's situation, in the pandemic situation, everybody is very much interested in immunity, boosting immunity. There are so many immunity boosting components of are there in soy and of course in soy flour. Those are namely protein, glycine, isoflavones. These are like phytochemicals present in soy, and iron, selenium, zinc, fiber, vitamin E, omega-3, lecithin, that is in the form of choline. So these are the immunity boosting components in soy. And if you look at these components, amount of these components in defatted soya flour, as you have seen earlier, it's a good source of protein, about 51-52% protein, about 1.2% fat, but it's a good source of iron, zinc, selenium, glycine, vitamin C. Of course, it's not there in soy, especially in soya flour. And whole beans, it is there. Maybe in edamame, it is there. And also choline, which is a part of lecithin, and isoflavones. These are the phytochemicals which have a lot of health benefits when we consume, and also antioxidant properties. Soy flour is a good source of these isoflavones. And one study we are involved is, I personally involved, is a study conducted on effect of soy protein in alleviating malnutrition. We conducted this study in few years back, almost 20 years back, and we gave a soy protein based diet to children for 1 year. These are 1 to 2 year old children for 1 year. And at the end of the study, after 1 year, we found out that this the children who were on soy protein diet, they have improved their nutritional status. 90.5 children became normal from second grade malnutrition, and another 9% children become normal they became first grade from second grade malnutrition. And also there is a significant improvement in the hemoglobin level because of the protein, good protein. The hemoglobin level was improved. And also the anthropometric measurements like head circumference, chest circumference, height, weight have improved significantly in the children who were on soy protein based diet. And we also have good improvement in the cognitive abilities. The mental abilities were also improved in these children, where recognizing color, shapes, maybe saying few words. These are the small children, 1 to 2 year old children. And also decrease in the morbidity. That means falling sickness is also reduced in those children who were on soy protein. And soy also provides a lot of health benefits. One such health benefit which has proven all across the world is heart health benefits of soy. Like any other vegetable protein, soy protein also reduces cholesterol, but the effect is a little higher in this. And also the isoflavones, because of their antioxidant activity, also reduce lipid LDL oxidation, and also have antithrombotic activity. That means the blood vessels will be softer, so the blood flow will be better. So it promotes the vascular health. And based on various studies conducted all across the world, number of studies have consistently shown that soy protein can reduce total cholesterol, can reduce triglycerides, can reduce LDL cholesterol, and actually increase the HDL cholesterol, which is considered as a good cholesterol. So for just as a basic rule of thumb is, for every 1% reduction in cholesterol, there is about 2 to 3% reduction in cholesterol in incidence of heart diseases. And soy protein will actually help in reducing cholesterol and actually improves the vascular health or coronary heart diseases, is almost at par with some of the cholesterol lowering drugs. So based on these the studies, about 14 different countries all across the world have given health claim. The FDA health claim says that if one consumes 25 grams of soy protein per day with a diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol, will reduce the risk of heart diseases. So that is what the health claim has given, and a lot of countries have been giving this health claim. And another health benefit associated with soy is the cancer fighting benefits of soy, especially hormone dependent cancers like prostate cancer and breast cancer. The antioxidant activity of soy, the isoflavones, will actually inhibit the growth of wide range of cancer cells, and blocks estrogen receptors, especially in the breast cancer, and inhibits enzymes in cancer cells. And another benefit, another action is anti-angiogenesis. That means these isoflavones will not allow the blood vessels to grow around the cancer cells, so that the cancer cell cannot grow because it will not get the nutrients. Another health benefit associated with soy is the bone health. So there is usually men and women can get bone osteoporosis. The risk is higher in women, But if somebody is taking a high amount of protein, especially animal protein, the calcium excretion from the bones will be higher. So whereas soy protein will reduce the calcium excretion from the bone. For every 1 gram of soy, if you replace animal protein with soy protein, for every 1 gram of replacement, your daily dietary calcium requirement can be reduced from 5 to 10 milligrams. Also, the isoflavones in soy will help inhibit the bone resorption and stimulate the bone formation. That is why it helps in improving the bone health. In summary, soy protein is a high quality protein with an excellent nutritional profile, quality at par with milk and egg. It is associated with a number of health benefits like heart health benefits or cancer reduction, bone health, good for diabetic because of the low glycemic index, and also good for women to fight, alleviate the menopause symptoms. And also the studies show that it will improve the hemoglobin level and alleviating the malnutrition, especially in the children. So that is all in brief about the nutritional and health benefits of soy. And thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'll be very glad to take those questions. Thank you very much. Bye.